this message series called Won't You Be My Neighbor? And we're learning about a story from Matthew 22 where a lawyer approaches Jesus and asks him, what is the most important of all your commandments? And Jesus tells him to love your Lord God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. He continues to say, and just as this, love your neighbor as yourself. As humans, sometimes I think our own selfishness gets in the way, and it makes it really hard for us to not only love someone as much as ourselves, but to love them the same way we love God. And as Christians, that's what we're asked to do. For me, it could be life-changing. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for someone being bold enough to love me like that. 2 years ago, someone walked into my life at work and started befriending me and started showing me love and kindness and respect. And through that, he started witnessing to me, and he invited me to his church. And I said no a few times. I was a little hesitant, but after seeing how much passion he had about his faith and his belief, I couldn't help but just give it a shot. And I came once, and I came twice, and I never stopped. You know, I can't imagine where I would be today if after I had said no the first time or the second time, he had just stopped asking me to come with him. I can't imagine if I would have the same friends, or if I'd be living in the same place, or if I'd be using the same words. Everything could have been completely different, and it's not, thanks to him. I think sometimes we get so afraid of that rejection, so afraid that we're not going to know the right words and that they're always going to say no, that we just stop trying to reach out to people. We get so stuck, concerned about them thinking we're crazy or weird, that we don't even try. And we need to just realize that it may not be easy. It wasn't easy for Jesus to sacrifice himself for us, but he did it because he loved us that much. And we love him that much, yet we're too afraid that it's going to be too hard to reach out to the other people that he loves that much, to let them know that there is someone out there that loves them regardless. We need to realize that he gave it all for us, and all he's asking in return is for us to give it all for him. The story continues in Luke 10 when the lawyer asks Jesus, "Who is my neighbor?" And Jesus tells him about a man who was beaten and robbed and left on the side of the road for dead. And he tells him about 3 other men who approach, and 2 walk on by, and one finally stops and bandages the man up and puts him on his donkey and brings him to an inn and pays for everything. He feeds him and he takes care of him. And Jesus asks the lawyer, who of these 3 men is a neighbor? And the lawyer looks at him and says, of course it's the man who shows mercy. Of course it's the man who shows compassion. And Jesus says, go and do likewise. He wants us to go out into this world and be that Samaritan, be that person that can put anyone, whether we know them or don't know them, ahead of ourselves, to show the love of Christ in doing that. We can do it anywhere. We can do it at our work. We could do it at school. We could do it on our sports team. We could do it hanging out with the kids in our neighborhood. We can do it on our bus. We can reach out to anyone, anywhere. And if we can do that, before you know it, our sanctuary could be filled with teens on fire for Christ. It's bigger than us. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than you. It's Jesus. It's life-changing.